Welcome to IN60. I'm Peter White and my guest today is Victor Rodriguez, Head of Fixed Income at CIP Asset Management. Welcome, Victor.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to ask you a series of short, sharp questions looking for concise answers. You can pass at any one of them and your time starts now. The better risk-reward profile, high yield or investment grade?
I think over the last few months it's probably fair to say investment grade, given its more defensive nature, but we think the opportunities going forward are much greater in that high yield space, particularly in that private lending high yield space.
What's the one red flag you look for when investing?
I think one golden rule we have across the team is that avoid governance issues at your peril.
Can you describe the events of March in one word?
It's been an often used word, but I think it still remains appropriate. I'd use the word unprecedented.
We'll cut the other 50 words out in front. If you could buy a single company and hold on to it for 10 years, what would you buy?
That I'm going to have to pass, at least to the extent that we are lenders very much rather than owners of companies at CIP Asset Management. And so the only thing I'd say as a lender, not an owner, boring is often best, where all you're focused on is getting your money back.
Pineapple on pizza?
My three boys often order that. I always let them finish it and eat it. If they're anything like me, they'll outgrow that preference for pineapple on pizza.
What's the most important takeaway from the coronavirus pandemic at the moment?
Yeah, that's a good question. In our space, I think it revolves around liquidity. So, you know, in March, in that period between the monetary stimulus and fiscal stimulus that came through, but that initial hit, markets really dried up. And investors need to understand how the liquidity dynamics in credit markets during periods like that.
Financial Armageddon, would you hold gold bullion, the greenback, Bitcoin or US Treasuries?
It's a narrow list, but of those four, I'd probably go with gold. What I definitely wouldn't go with is US Treasuries.
Post-pandemic, what's the most attractive sector you think? Real estate, financials or industrials?
In our space, I think financials, particularly major bank senior unsecured, looks very expensive across all measures. But on the other hand, some of the industrials and particularly real estate loans that we're looking at, still defensive assets, offer better opportunity.
Victor, thanks for talking to us today.
Pleasure, Peter.